Welcome. Welcome, everybody, once again. Episode 6.
Episode 6. Happy fucking New Year.
Happy fucking New Year. Happy fucking Christmas. All that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
And happy late birthday to you, Creason.
Thank you,
I mean,
bro.
I already
Thank you.
told you happy birthday, but everyone doesn't know, I guess.
Yeah, you got to announce it for everybody, bro. Yeah, I'm born on the 1st of January, so everybody's having fun. I got to celebrate my birthday like a fucking loser.
Oh.
But thank you, Magic. I had a lot of fun. It was a great year. Speaking of great years, this so far seems to be pretty good year for music. I mean, maybe it's a fast start. Maybe this shit's only gonna get worse. But
Hey, before we start though, what was your album of the year last year?
oh
Maybe
man,
maybe in the end of this year we'll do like an all of our albums podcast. But
then all right. Album of the year last year, just off the top of my head, I'll have to give it to Fivela's Glock. That album we reviewed, God's Trash Man Sent to Write the Mess. It had its 1 year anniversary, like 2 weeks ago. Now it came out January 1st, 2021. I don't know what else to say about that album. Go watch the episode we talked about the album on, so you can hear all my thoughts. But man, I played that album over and over. I think it was Fivela's Glock was my second most played artist just off of that one album last year.
oh really?
Yeah, number one was Playboy Cardi.
Well, I guess that some people count that, in their list because it came out like at the end of December.
Yeah, I mean, I would count Whole Lot of Red too, like, because what you had like a whole fucking 5 days to listen to it in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's a 2021 album for sure. Like, and yeah, like Whole Lot of Red, very very divisive. But I fucking loved it. For me, it was definitely like do anything music. Like I could just put that on and fucking go do anything.
Definitely.
What about you though, bro?
I've been struggling with my album of the year. I feel like I didn't really completely love a lot of albums.
I
But
feel that. I feel it.
I think towards the end of the year, I really liked the Little Sims album a lot more.
Oh, sometimes I may be introvert.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people. I feel like that album took a while to ramp up in popularity. I definitely wasn't crazy about it first listen. But the more I listened to it, I definitely liked it more.
Yeah. And I think the Turnstile album when it first came out, I played it a lot. When Pink Seafood came out, I played it a lot.
True.
So yeah, I've been thinking. I think it's gonna be. I think it's a Little Sims album. I think that's the album that,
Yeah.
like, if someone's like, "Oh, what album would you want? What album should I listen to that came out last year or whatever?" I'd probably be like, "Oh, you should listen to Little Sims."
Well, there you have it, folks.
So,
Crezo and MJ's number one albums of 2021. You know what I'm saying? Nice and easy, bro. Fucking.
I kind of forgot what albums came out last year. So many.
Man, the West Side Gun album definitely has to be top 3.
Yep.
I listened to the fuck out of West Side Gun Part B. What else? You were big on Conway last year for sure. Like,
Yeah, definitely Conway. It's just because there's a lot of great albums that came out in the beginning of the year and a lot of great albums that came at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely. I totally feel that.
Today
And
we're talking about beat tapes.
yeah, this is the beat tape episode.
Beat tape episode beat tape.
Episode 6 beat tapes.
Yeah.
There you go. But we got 2 really exciting records to share with y'all. The first one is called Octaves by Roho, a gentleman. I'm not sure where they are based out of.
Well, I'm on his Bandcamp right now, or their Bandcamp, and it says Los Angeles.
Oh, there you go. Los Angeles artists.
The Human Beat Machine.
This album came out this year, so it's no more than 2 weeks old at most.
Less than 2 weeks. It came out, well, on Bandcamp, it came out January 11th.
There you go.
So,
and then, but yeah, super fresh. So this album is a beat tape, but how would you describe it, MJ?
well, to give him his credit right here on his Bandcamp, how he describes it, and then I'll get into how I feel like I described it.
Okay.
He says it's a project born. So these are from the Bandcamp. A project born from passing time. Every track on Octave samples directly from phone recordings I captured of myself playing piano over late 2021. And yeah, so I don't know. I think it's very like the structure. You can know it's like in this beat structure, but it's very much jazzier and like musically, like more musical. Both these albums have great texture. I think it's very, if like when you hear it, it's like you can kind of feel it, like, you know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
way the synths, the way the effects and the delays, and yeah, I mean,
What
Roho,
would you?
I've been following him on Twitter for a while. He always posts great videos, and so I really like this project.
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of Rojo's videos that you shared with me, I think, or that you retweeted at least. But yeah, what song stands out to you on here? We got 5 tracks. This is 9 minutes long. This is not a long listen at all. That's very gratifying, and it's also something that you can listen to on repeat.
Oh yeah,
Like you can play octaves like 3 or 4 times back to back. You won't even like notice high key. It is very intricate. It's like complex enough where it's not like strictly lo-fi to where every song is kind of just derivative. But it's still complex enough to where if you really want to listen and be engaged, you can do that. Nothing is necessarily going to pull you in unless you hear something that's like, you're like, oh wow, like, that was a cool sample, or I really like that melody, X or Y. But this is a very, very digestible album, or beat tape rather. Sorry, at 10 minutes, five tracks. What's your favorite track on here? We got, not a lot to choose from.
well, I think number 4, the contact high. I like the way it comes in with those drum fills, and I like it's just like a more funkier track. And I think I like Rule Breakers too. I kind of, yeah, I think I like Rule Breakers more. I really like the drums on that one. I like the drums on the whole album actually. I think a lot of it's very I think the whole album is very clean. It just sounds very crisp and very punchy,
Super polished, yeah.
super colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
it's kind of hard to like a single track cuz they all kind of flow in, as a whole project. It's like when you listen to this project, it's like listening to one big ass song. You kind of do it, you know what I'm saying? Like one big ass 10-minute song.
that's true.
So when it's
I,
when I'm listening in a car, it's like going into the other song that it just all feels like one complete whole project in just
I,
5 songs.
I agree, because when I was listening to this today in preparation for this episode, I was walking my dog. It was like a fucking hour ago, and I barely noticed when the album ended. And then I have my Spotify set to where it doesn't loop albums, or it doesn't play anything automatically. Like I have to manually play something after I manually put something in, you know. So like, I was like maybe not even halfway through my walk, and the album was over, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like I didn't even notice the transitions in the songs or anything.
Yeah,
So I totally see your point.
completely whole.
Yeah.
Very inspirational, especially for our music. And yeah, I think it's I think it's beautiful. It's, we call it a beat tape, but it's music, and
Yeah, like don't let the title of beat tape undermine just how magnificent Octaves is. And that's a big word I'm going to use, magnificent. But this is a magnificent piece right here, because like for the strengths that we talked about and considered already. But just listen to it for yourself, and then maybe come back. I always recommend you guys do this with our episodes, by the way. Like listen to what we have to say a little bit, and then maybe it'll be hard to grasp like exactly what we're talking about. But then go and listen to the music, and then come back and rewatch the episode, and then you'll probably pick up on what we're talking about here, especially with this Rojo album, I think.
yeah, and amazing piano.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what the whole record's based around, right?
Fade out. There's great piano on that. I like the textures of the piano, very like crackly, and it's been manipulated a little bit. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else more to say. I think it's just an amazing album, amazing project,
Yes.
inspirational.
Rojo
Roho did it
Octaves
again.
2022. Go
Yeah,
check it out.
out everywhere.
Yeah, it's on everything. Unlike this next record, I know earlier you said that both of these albums, but we hadn't announced the second album yet. The second album is called Owala, that we'll be talking about today, by TatzumaKii, or TatzumaKii. It's just spelled like TatzumaKii, like two different ones. Beat maker from Sydney, Australia, also known as Planet Namek. You
Well,
know,
he's from the States. I was watching a podcast. He was in. I forgot where he was from, but he moved. I I think like he met a girl or has a girlfriend in Australia.
no, I see. So did he move out there?
Yeah, he like moved out there. I gotta
I
send you it.
see. And then I will read the Bandcamp description this time for this piece.
Yeah.
Again, Owala by TatzumaKii. Owala is an adrenaline fueled homage to beat culture, the beat scene, and beat music. Disclaimer: if your musical preference is limited to lo-fi beats, to steady two, chill hop, or vaporwave, please check with your physician before listening to this tape. This tape contains violent and aggressive levels of head nod factor that your body may not be accustomed to. It is strongly advised that you're unfamiliar with high octane cosmic beat shit to start with small dose. And then very next, I think is more important, where they're talking about this album is dedicated to the LA beat scene and its foundational members, Take, Kutma, Daddy Kev, DJ Nobody, Diabase, is that how you pronounce it?
Uh, yeah, like Dibiase.
DiBiase, there you go. I apologize. Dadilios, uh, Toki Monster. I'm sorry for butchering these. But Nose J Thing, Shlomo, Flying Lotus, Raji, Gaslamp Killer, Teebs, and Sayem or Samiyam. I'm a seed that grew from what you guys planted. And then yeah.
Released in
This
October.
released October 2021, so kind of late last year, not exactly a 2022 record, but we just got to it and it still sounds very, very fresh. So we decided to talk about it anyway. And this is the beat tape episode, so
Yeah.
I had a big pick two beat tapes.
And
But this record to me is very exciting. It's very colorful. It's super fresh, and I would describe this record, how it feels to listen to is kind of like how it feels to like watch a very in your face like Dragon Ball movie, like at the movie theaters or something, just like flying colors, super, super dynamic, like combat scenes, like, Owala, it feels like that, and then the cover art, there's like a koala here with Majin Buu pants. And I think it's meant to symbolize like a Dragon Ball character that puts you through this fight, and then fighting with this koala is Owala. It's like, the album is basically the soundtrack to that fight. That you would imagine in your head, At least that's how my interpretation of it. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. And I agree with that a lot, tenfold, especially with the colors you're saying. And just another great producer, found you find all these producers on Twitter for the most part. And just made on an iPad using the koala sampler
There you go.
that I've been messing around with. And yeah, man, I think the album cover is a good like kind of, you don't want to read a book, you don't guess a book by its cover or whatever they say, but like the
Mhm.
album cover is a good, it really, like that's how you kind of feel when you listen to the beat sometimes, like with all those colors.
Absolutely, it encompasses the record amazingly, and I think it matches what the record is trying to express to a T. I think it is one of those times where the album cover perfectly encapsulates the music.
And what I really like about this album is like, I don't know if you would want to call it melodies or the sounds of, of like what's going on. They're kind of surreal, but what really ties everything together, I think, are like the drums and how head knocking it is, and it still gets you to move, even though there's this crazy shit going on that it's your ear. It kind of like tricks your ears because you're like, oh, I don't know what instrument that is, or you know,
No, yes,
that's how I
super
feel.
dynamic, absolutely. My favorite tendency of the record, excuse me, has to be how it switches from being like chill in some parts to like, traditional lo-fi, and then it switches into these like crazy head knocking bangers, adrenaline fueled homages to beat culture, as they're described as, in between, and sometimes fused together, which is like you said is very, I want to say jarring, but jarring sounds wrong because it doesn't sound wrong when you listen to it. You
Yeah,
know what I
not
mean?
jarring in a bad way, but definitely not accustomed.
Yeah, like some positive synonym of jarring, without a negative connotation. Like that's how this album makes me feel. And also, if I haven't got across already, this is a Dragon Ball Z themed album. Like the art is uh you know inspired by Dragon Ball Z, and the tracks themselves. There's the sixth track is called One for Supa. The eighth track is called Planet North Kai. The ninth track has my favorite title and one of my favorite songs,
Yeah, that's a good
Espresso
one.
Bean Cannon. Yeah, that's
That one's
just
pretty good.
facts. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
And then the 11th track is called Frieza Omega, and very blatant references. My favorite one definitely is Espresso Bean Cannon, because the Hyper Bean Cannon from Piccolo was so fucking lit. Like, and that song sounds like a hyper beam cannon not being fired like it was in the show, but like you can visualize the hyper beam cannon being shot, and then it'd be like, yeah, this song matches that scene perfectly.
Yeah.
Like the energy, the intensity, the power. This fucking laser being shot.
Well, dude, both of the album covers for both albums are incredible.
Yeah,
I
for
think.
Octaves, I didn't mean to undersell it if I did. How
Yeah.
beautiful the cover is. It's like a Gundam playing a piano with very vivid and vibrant colors in the back of like random gizmos and gadgets. There's like man, I don't even know how to describe these. What's in the background here? Like I know I see a tire. I don't know, just all kinds of gears and stuff around this robot.
Yeah.
It almost looks like fruit, like how fruit would be drawn very vibrantly, but
Like
it's a bunch of
mechanical
like,
fruit.
yeah, exactly that. And then the Gundam itself is like not colored at all, which is an interesting design choice. If I had to throw a shot in the dark at an interpretation for this cover, I say that maybe the robot, maybe it's like him, Roho describing themselves as like, yo, I'm like this beat machine. I'm like a fucking Gundam that makes beats. And then for my keyboard, I make all these vibrant, crazy sounding shits, and maybe the images in the back are supposed to represent the music that he makes with the keyboard. Like even though himself he's like very white or gray, like what he makes is like not, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Excuse me.
And what I also would take away from both these albums is like the time, the time put into them, like both of them, like on the Oala album, because so the how he released the album was only you can only get half of it like on Apple Music and Spotify, but for the full album, yeah, you have to go on Bandcamp.
Oh, I see. I see. I mean, that's a pretty good move. That's a pretty cool move, especially advertising wise, because the people that like it are gonna listen to it on Spotify and Apple Music, and if they like it enough, then they're gonna support the entire release on Bandcamp, where it's TatzumaKii would get more royalties and probably make more money. I'm sure, as most of you are aware, Bandcamp is like the preferred platform for artists by artists. I don't think it's a co-op. Like Bandcamp's not a co-op. There's like some other music streaming service that's a co-op, but it's not. I guess it's not by artists, but it's more for artists. Like it's very artist friendly. It has the highest, I think, payoff or payback of any streaming service. Like it just blows YouTube and Apple Music and Spotify out of the water. Bandcamp Fridays, I think we talked about at least once, is when you buy anything on Bandcamp for that artist. Like if you buy their album or like merch, and 100% of the proceeds go directly to the artist. Like Bandcamp gets nothing. So Bandcamp really has gone arm and legs length to make sure that their artists are supported on their platform. And so
Yeah.
for that reason, I can't blame TatzumaKii at all for doing what they have done. It's kind of annoying, sure, like, but who cares? Like if you
I
like the
mean,
music,
they have an app.
yeah, exactly. Like it's not that big a deal. If you really like the album, you don't like the album that much if you're not willing to download Bandcamp. It takes literally 5 seconds. It's free, you know. Like so yeah, just go support them on Bandcamp. Go listen to Awala, this beautiful mixtape by TatzumaKii.
Definitely.
11 tracks. What is it like?
Yeah, it's 11 tracks.
I say close to like 20 minutes, maybe 25 at most. You
Yeah,
know,
every beat's like a minute, or some are, some are longer, but
there's some beats that are like
it's like beats from like a minute
actually,
to like 3 minutes.
I was gonna say there's no beat longer than like 2.5 minutes on this 11 track record. So yeah, very sizable beats, like beautiful cover art. Listen to it if you're like a fan of Dragon Ball. I know that sounds weird, but you're gonna get like the same kind of adrenaline rush that he's describing in the description, and that you would normally get from watching like a fucking sick early Dragon Ball Z scene. Everything after the Cell Saga is trash, in my opinion. But earlier though, you get a wall of vibes.
Well, it's gonna be a good year for the channel.
Yeah,
It's
be
gonna
on the
be a
look.
good year for the podcast.
Absolutely, this might be the year where we become fucking rich and famous, and then you guys stop getting this cozy ass format, bro. That would fucking suck for y'all, huh? Nah, I'm just kidding. We're only going up from here. Thank you to everybody that's still watching the show. Thank you to everybody again that listens to all the music. You just released a new tape. You want to talk about that?
I did. Yeah, I mean, I have it linked in the bottom. Put a new beat tape out. It's on Bandcamp. It's on our YouTube page.
Yeah, check it out on Bandcamp. While you're checking out a wallet, check out the new Bear Box tape, man. It's beautiful.
We're gonna try to make a new album again this year. Got homies that want to make music, so just
Be on
gonna
the
keep
lookout.
doing what the gods did before us. They laid it down, the brickwork, and we just gotta keep grinding, bro.
Bro, shout out the music gods, bro. Let us stand on their shoulders all easy. Man. Shout out shout out all my friends that I've been hanging out with since the year started, man. Shout out
Caffeine again.
Caffeine, bro, keeping us going, bro. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do when they make this shit illegal, man. If that ever happens, I might just roll over and die. Like, I need this shit.
But yeah, all right. Well,
I love everybody. Be on the lookout for the next episode. We'll try to be more consistent. We do have an episode planned. We have an idea planned for this week, so we're probably gonna release 2 episodes this week if we're diligent.
yeah. I mean, we're trying to at least get once a month.
Yeah, sort of vibe. And then also with the music, we're very focused on the music right now.
Music, we got school, so
you guys know the fucking vibe. Subscribe, like,
listen to the albums.
Listen to the album before you fucking like and subscribe. Listen to that shit. Right?
Shout out to the artists that we talked about today for making great shit and keeping us going.
We out.
God bless.